I was full grown before I ever even seen a deer track. They just, by God, was not.
They wiped them all out, didn't they?
Because of hunting.
Yeah, they eat them. In the 40s and 50s, if you didn't kill a rabbit, a deer, a squirrel, or something, you didn't eat no meat. Unless you stole somebody's cow or something.
What's up, y'all? It's Taylor Carney with the Redneck Outdoor Channel. This is a hunting podcast, episode 4. And guys, this is a really special one to me. I got to sit down with my dad and a couple of my uncles, and these guys kind of got me into the outdoors and, you know, made me as passionate as I am about it today. And even more special than that, I had my great uncle Frank. This is my dad and his brother's uncle, and it's kind of the guy that got them in the outdoors and showed them the ropes to hunting and fishing. And he's 82 years old. He's born in 42, so he's had a lot of years of experience. And he grew up from a time where, you know, you had to live off the land. You had if you didn't kill something while you're out hunting, and you didn't eat supper. That was all there was to it. So, you know, but it's kind of the last of a dying breed, but anyways, you guys are going to hear some tall tales on this for sure. So, and then, like I said, some of the stories that, you know, Frank might share, they might be from 60 years ago. They could even be from 70 years ago, you know. So, like I said, it was a different time back then. You got to put that in consideration. They didn't take any stock into trophy hunting at all. If they shot something, maybe you didn't look into the regs all that extensively, but you know, it was because if you shot something, it was for supper. You had to. So kind of a different time. But anyways, like I said, this was a really special one for me. I hope y'all enjoy it, and don't forget to subscribe.
Frank, was you born the same year Dad was, 42, or are you older than Dad, or? Yeah.
I was born in October.
October? Okay, Dad was.
He was born in August or somewhere along
a little bit older than you.
Dad was born in August.
I knew you guys weren't very far off.
26 and 27.
Yeah,
27. I think you figured out.
I don't know which one it was, but I think you finally landed on 27.
I think you landed on the 27 the last few years.
But I think that's where he started. That was 25, 26, and 27. He was celebrating all three of them for a while. You know.
Why is that? You didn't have the birth certificate?
They didn't
Never had it.
know, and he didn't know when it was.
Didn't
His
have
mama
birth
didn't know.
Said she forgot. Grandma forgot.
Oh, we know.
Dad was. She was one of the three.
It's hard to remember back at 4.
Yeah.
Especially if you're just being born.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you lived through them years where you had to hunt when you was younger to survive.
It's different.
If you didn't kill something, you didn't eat. Did
Well,
you?
if I killed something I didn't bring home to eat, Daddy would have beat the shit out of me probably.
Huh.
And you didn't go out and take 4 or 5 boxes of shells with you because you couldn't afford to buy that many. You're lucky if you had half a dozen or so to take with you. The first gun I had, you could see down the barrel and use it for a bow. It was crooked. It was. But
How'd you ever hit anything with it?
I killed a lot of stuff with it. You learn where to put a bullet after a while.
Yeah. Dad says that it was you who pretty much taught him and Jody how to hunt and fish and all that and outdoors, because Pops was working all
busy
the time.
working. Sonny got a lot of memories hunting with Dad, but I don't really. My hunting memories with Uncle Frank.
Been a lot of times in the woods when I was younger. Now I can't even walk down through the woods.
I remember Frank would step on the porch of that one of his little 22, and me and Jesse, can we go? And all right, boys, get your gun. So we go get a 410. We had 410s.
Yeah.
If we couldn't hit it with the 410, sometimes we couldn't. Frank would get it with the 22.
Yeah, Daddy didn't believe in shotguns for anything except birds. He didn't believe in shooting squirrels, rabbits, or anything with shotgun. It left too many BBs in it.
Yeah.
He didn't like BBs.
Yeah.
So we hunted with 22 or bean flip.
Yeah. And you killed squirrels with a bean flip.
A bunch of rabbits, birds,
Did you use rocks or steel balls, or what did you use in your bean flip?
whatever I get a hold of. If it landed in the road, I picked it up and used it. And if we got by the car shop, sometimes they'd have all them bearings laying around. And man, that
Ball bearings, yeah.
that was great, man. You get a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Because you could shoot through a piece of half-inch plywood with that beam flip, man. It, mean thing.
Well, how do you get practiced up enough with a bean flip? You just shooting it all the time, or?
Yeah, I carried a pocket full of rubbers, a bunch of marbles, and rocks, and everything else in my pockets.
Grandma helped me make a bean flip one time. So go cut you a wide fork limb, and she tied the metal inner tube rubber, and she tied it on there for me. Grandma did, and helped me make a bean flip when we was kids.
Off like a car tire.
Yeah,
Yeah,
car,
but
inner tube and inner
By the
tube
time
rubber.
it
Yeah,
got up to where she made yours, though, it switched from pure rubber to neoprene. And they didn't stretch as good.
Yeah.
they didn't shoot near as good. The old inner tubes were made out of real rubber. And you get the inner tube and cut you off some strips, put them on there, have your bean flip. You could make you a whole bunch of them out of inner tube. But the car tires went to neoprene. Wasn't no good.
No.
You can stretch it, but it don't fly back like rubber does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you and Grandpa and Dad all get together and start hunting together? Was it a
When your mom and daddy got married.
and then we just kind of like yeah, I kind of figured that, but it's like when me and Lisa got married, my father-in-law he didn't know nothing about hunting, didn't want to hunt, didn't care about hunting. Maybe went fishing, but I mean it wasn't nothing to do with hunting until I introduced him into hunting.
Well, Slim was always hunting.
I know I heard stories about Grandpa used to coon hunt a lot, and I squirrel hunted a lot with him. And
I didn't meet him until he lived in Tulsa. And they hadn't been down here too long out in Utah.
I know you guys hunted a whole lot together down there at Oodlegaw, and in this picture right here.
Yeah, we hunted do it all the time. Yeah, that there's out there in front of the bait shop. Up there at,
Four boys.
Four boys was
yeah,
winging on one of them.
yeah, well, I don't even know the name of the bait shop we went to, but we always stopped up there and bought little minnows and stuff to put on trot line.
I remember
And
stopping
that's
in
where
there.
the check station was for the deer. Coming back to Tulsa.
And when this picture, Dad told me that he was 18 or 19 years old. And if Dad was 18 or 19, that would have been 1960 or 1961. And he said that was the first year they opened up deer season, and Grandpa shot that with that 16 gauge, which Timmy Dale still has that 16 gauge.
There wasn't no deer before then.
That's what I watched the deal on Outdoor Oklahoma here the other day. It's been other days to me. It's been 10 years ago, and they was talking about 1960 in the state of Oklahoma. There was less than 2,000 deer in the state of Oklahoma in 1960.
I didn't figure there was that many. I never did see none until then. I didn't see it. I was full grown before I ever even seen a deer track. They just, by God, was not.
They wiped them all out, didn't they?
Because of hunting.
Yeah, they eat them. In the 40s and 50s, if you didn't kill a rabbit, a deer, a squirrel, or something, you didn't eat no meat. Unless you stole somebody's cow or something.
Yeah, do what you had to do to eat.
Yep.
You've seen that, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got a copy of this somewhere.
Yeah.
I remember I was up there somewhere.
He was probably hunting.
I ain't too sure. I might have been out there on that motorcycle.
I heard some stories about that motorcycle running
Yeah,
across
yeah.
the woods.
Yeah, I chased a few deer out of the bottom with it.
With your motorcycle?
Yeah. They had that little 90, I guess it was. It wasn't much of a motorcycle, but it would carry 2 people across the bottoms down there. It wouldn't climb back Motorcycle Hill, though. Have to go all the way around and go back up the side of the road to get back on top of the mountain. And it wouldn't climb Motorcycle Hill.
Huh.
Wasn't many of them motorcycles climb Motorcycle Hill. Because it was out there just out of the winging on.
Back then, with the game wardens, they were more aggressive then than they are now, or they're about the same. Just,
You ever run into game warden back
They,
then?
they didn't like me killing more than one deer.
I know Dad was showing some. We were watching some old videos and stuff from the game wardens that they used to bring to the big cookouts and stuff. I remember what Dad talked about him all the time. I forget what his name was now, but anyhow, he was talking about him and his dad was coming out of illegal and he had deer behind the seat of the truck and pulled up and the game warden
Grandpa
stops
did,
him.
yeah.
They stop him, and I forget what Dad said.
yeah,
Pretty comical, but all we got one behind the seat is where he told the game warden, and he really did.
The game warden thought he was.
yeah.
Yeah,
The game warden said, "You lying little son of a bitch! You didn't have that behind the seat, but he did. He did have one behind the
Yeah,
seat."
your daddy went killed it.
Yeah, yeah. I remember
I
that.
forget the
remember
name,
that.
but I've seen that guy in those videos and stuff, and Dad said, yeah, he was a game warden. He goes to family, they had big cookouts, and he'd be out there.
Huh.
Can't remember his name now.
I mean,
I can't remember his name either. He probably passed away by now. But I remember many
Yeah,
of the
the game
stories.
warden, both of them are dead. Yeah, the oldest one died while the other one was still trying to catch me for killing them 2 deer.
What's his name anyhow? I should know his name. So.
Yeah,
Dad
Me
talked about
too.
him all the time. But
Well, back then, I mean, you guys hunted more for food than anything. I mean, it wasn't like the person was killing something just for the fun of it. I mean, you had to eat.
well, he actually wasn't after me for killing 2 of them. He didn't know I'd killed the second one, really. He was after me for chasing him on the motorcycle. And when he didn't catch me with the motorcycle, he went down there and found out I'd checked one in down to checkout deal, and I done had another. And you wasn't allowed but 1 deer then,
yeah.
and it had to be a buck. There wasn't no doe season at all.
Yeah. That just shows you how things have changed.
They want you to kill more doe now.
Yeah, and there ain't even a check-in station no more.
You know?
I remember when doe season come around, that you had to put in for doe season, and they would send you a deal and saying whether you got a doe tag or not. It was very rarely to get a doe tag.
Yeah.
And then you could hunt a doe wherever you was at, but you'd have to put in for that doe tag, kind of like we put in for our hunts now.
Yeah.
You know,
You had to draw
Well,
a
now
tag.
it don't
you had
make
to
no
draw. You had to draw
You
out
kill
for a doe
anything.
tag.
Yeah.
If you want to check it in, you just call them up and say, hey, I killed this thing. It's got so many points over here and so many over there. And they'll give you a number and say, yep, that's it.
Yeah.
take your word
You
for it.
there
You
no
take it anywhere you want to.
there's no photos of it or nothing.
No, nothing.
Nothing.
Used to the big thing was the weight on the deer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
you
was
don't
Remember-
weigh them no
remember-
more.
no.
Uncle Jody shot that one that weighed a little more than Dad's did that one year because he left the liver and something else
He
in
tied
it.
the
Dad-
liver,
he tied the
and
liver
stuff.
and stuff in.
Yeah, won the big buck contest because
Yeah.
he tied the liver and stuff
Yeah,
up
big buck
inside him.
contest. The weight, they didn't really care about the horse.
That was
so
over
much
at
back
Eden's
then,
Bay
did
at the time.
It was all about
Dad
how
had
much
the
it weighed.
biggest. Dad had the biggest buck until Jody brought his in, and Jody did not kill his in Mays County either.
No, he shot
He
it
killed it
before.
out there at the Pecan Ranch over in Claremore and
Yeah.
brought it in. And
Well,
shoot,
if you field dress a deer, the heart, the liver is supposed to be part of the
Part
field
of it.
dress. It's supposed to be in him.
you're right.
Huh.
That wasn't the bad part. The bad part was he brought out a different county to beat Dad out on those big buck contests.
And now big buck contests all about
Yeah.
the antlers and stuff on.
Yeah.
Back then it
Yeah.
wasn't. It was
Yeah.
about how much it weighed. That's all that's changed.
They don't even weigh the deer no more.
You said that a field dressed deer, the heart and liver is supposed to be still in the deer.
That's
That's
actually part of the organ.
That's part of the field dressing.
Yeah.
The heart and liver's part of it.
Yeah.
Right, so you leave that in.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't
well,
just leave it
no.
in them. When you take the guts out, it comes out, and you can put it back or
Yeah, good.
take it.
Well,
It's part of the field dressing.
Most
Most
people used to
people eat
eat
the heart
it.
and liver.
yeah, see, I saved heart and liver off a couple deer I killed last year and cooked it for everybody. Nobody liked it, but I cooked it anyways. But nobody does that anymore, though. The heart and liver is part of the gut pile. It's all pulled out and left in the
Well,
woods.
most of them, if you shoot them through the side of the ribs, there ain't nothing left of that to save anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Kind of lot boils down to how hungry you really are too.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
you can't.
I mean, I didn't think it was bad.
Yeah.
That shows you how times have changed back then. That you
didn't waste
hardly
anything.
wasted anything, and nowadays
You got to make sure that you take the bile deal off of it and don't cut it open to get it on nothing, or nothing to taste good.
Yeah.
And of course, heart, you just slice it up, flour it, fry it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's tough. You got to have teeth. A heart is tough. It's usually a pretty tight muscle.
So, does that mean that Pops should have won that because he should have left the heart and liver in his deer? Is that count
he
for
should
the
have won
weight?
it because it was a deal to where that it was big buck contest in Mays County, was it not? And Jody brought his from Rogers County where he worked out there at the pecan ranch and brought it up and checked it in Mays County.
Checking out Eden's with Eden's
Yeah,
bait
Eden's
shop,
bait back
And-
then.
and
So he actually cheated that way, but
Right.
and he also tied the liver and stuff up in it, which which made the weight a little bit more. But I mean, that's how he beat him anyway. That deer
And
in
they did.
particular, that deer he killed over on Highway 82, where the down the hill stores you're going up that hill.
Yeah.
We lived over there when we was kids, and me and Dad was hunting in the back there. And I remember that day very well because Dad set me down beside this old trail and told me, he said, "Son, sit down here." And Dad and Grandpa both had a bad habit of doing this to me when I was a little kid. They'd set you down somewhere and they would go off and they would sit back and watch you. And of course, you're probably not 18 years old at the time. Sometimes I was smaller than that when they run off and left me. Went and sat up there, and I sat there, and Dad said on this deer, and he's got a picture of it, but in that old blue Ford pickup.
I remember seeing.
I got
picture.
that picture at the house.
Remember the morning when
And-
you knock it in.
And anyway, that deer come down the hill. Actually, a doe come down the hill first, and then behind that doe, that buck come down the hill behind that doe. And I was sitting there, and I could not see him because of the way the hill was. Probably couldn't hit him anyway because I probably couldn't. That back then I was pretty young. And Dad said he waited and waited, and he watched me and waited, and he finally realized I couldn't see them. And he said, and the reason he shot both of them at the same time is he said he watched that. He said when it finally couldn't tell that buck had horns, he was that far away. He said he stuck his nose in the tail end of that other one. He said, "Oh, well, I know what that is." So he shot the doe first, and the doe was laying there. She run out and up that hill and was laying there kicking. I could see her kicking. And I put my gun on her, and about that time, Dad shot again. And it just dropped that buck right there at the time. And then he come walking off the top of the blooming hill down there to me. And it's like, "You didn't see that buck?" And I said, "What buck?" "I see the doe you shot, but I didn't see the buck." But like I said, I probably wasn't 8 or 10 years old at the time. And anyway,
Remember, I was in second grade.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
What do you think the antlers scored on that deer?
I'm going to
I don't
say
think it was real big. I don't remember
The
it being
antler-
real
I
big.
would- I would say that
that's a
probably-
big buck, but it was
probably about 130 at that. And that was big. I mean, that was big, 125 to 130. I mean, that was a big deer back then. It wasn't a monster back then.
But the big buck contest, there was no tape measure or
No,
counting of the points.
it wasn't
or none
about
of
the
that.
horns back then. It was about the weight of the deer. They didn't care about the horns. The
Yeah.
horns didn't mean nothing back then.
couldn't eat them horns. I'm afraid.
Nope. I got a whole bunch of them hanging over in the barn.
That's something Dad's always said. Oh, Frank always said, "Can't eat the horns."
Well, I always said.
Yeah, brown it's down.
I ain't got dude home for the double buck or what. Look, see if it's got horns after it hits the ground.
Yeah.
I remember going hunting with you when I was a kid one time, and I don't know if you remember this or not. I remember this thing will be burning my head forever. Me and you went hunting. You took a 22, and I don't remember what I took. And we went down there behind the house down there, and the dogs had treed a squirrel, and we got over to it, and you didn't get quite up to it. It was probably a good 50, 60 yards, maybe further than that. And you reach over and leaned up against a tree and goes, pow! And we never seen the deer or the squirrel fall out of the tree, so he'd walk up, bring it closer. It's like, well, son of a bitch, I guess I missed that one. Then you aim up there, pow! And it falls out of the tree, and I walk on the other side of that big oak tree. There's 2 squirrels laying there. And both of them, if I remember right, was either shot in the head or in the eye. Both of them. They were shot both.
You shoot all of mine in the head, but it's hard to hold that steady anymore.
But I remember that like it was yesterday, because I remember you shoot 2 squirrels and thought you'd missed that one. It's like, there's no way I missed that. No way. And then we get back around there. There's 2 laying there, and they're both laying within 10 yards of each other, laying there. Shot both of them.
Well, didn't you like to eat that squirrel brain? You didn't mess the brain up if you shoot them in the head?
Well, yeah, it does. But it depends on which one of the meat you want, the brains or the legs. You shoot him with that, well, I was using a regular 22, I could shoot them in the chest or something other. But a lot of times they run the hole. You shoot them in the head, they ain't going over.
Yeah.
If you shoot them with that HMR 17, you better shoot him in the head. You shoot him anywhere else, there ain't nothing left. That little old bitty bullet will blow him all to pieces.
It's moving a lot faster, huh?
Yep. When it hit, if you hit one in the body, it just literally
Blows it.
just blows it all to pieces. It ain't nothing left.
Oh, yeah. Well, Frank, who taught you how to hunt? You remember, or you just always was? You just always a good hunter.
I was way before I went to school. I was in the woods by myself with a gun.
Oh yeah.
Lived over up north of Telephone, out there. There wasn't no houses or nothing out there then. Lived on the airport, right there, just at by the Jones and Steely Hollow Road when you come down north of Telephone.
Yeah.
That was the airport right there on that corner. The schoolhouse was right there.
Mom was talking about that schoolhouse there north of Telephone. I remember her talking about that.
It's still there.
Yeah.
The schoolhouse here, the house we lived in is gone.
Yeah.
And the airport's gone. But they wasn't nothing bigger than, well, that twin engine tried to land in that thing. Me and Charlie took all the magnets out of it because it crashed in the front yard. And the rest of them was little twin double wing jobs. One was canvas wings.
Well, when you first started hunting, like my first memory of hunting was squirrel hunting with Grandpa. Your first memory of hunting, was it like squirrel hunting or hunting for food, or was
Hunted everything that moved, man. Squirrels, rabbits, groundhogs.
I remember you telling me you eat
Skunk?
I never did eat a
eat a
skunk.
corn rat once and it tastes like mud.
I rendered a few of them out.
Ate a few turtles too, ain't you?
They used to give you skunk grease for crew.
But I remember my first time going squirrel hunting. Grandpa bought me a 12-gauge Savage bolt action. I remember this, and it's still in my memory. First memory that I remember hunting, because we went down to Oodlegaw. We went down there, me, Grandpa, and Dad, parked the old 65 Impala there, opened the trunk, got our guns out, walked down there in the woods, and Dad and Grandpa run off and left. Sitting there all by myself. Dad said, if you see something, you shoot it, you holler at me. And I'm sitting there, and the gun's bigger than I am. I couldn't have been 6 or 8. I shoot this stupid squirrel, shoot at it, comes down the tree about 20 yards in front of me, and I shoot at it. The gun almost knocks me down. Anyway, in just a second, here's Grandpa and here's Dad. So they're out there watching me. And Grandpa says, where's that squirrel at? And I said, well, he was right there, Grandpa. Where's he at? I guess I missed, Grandpa. Well, you don't miss. You're not supposed to miss. You don't miss. So anyway, I said, well, I guess I missed. And he said, slap me on the head. You're not supposed to do that. Then him and Dad walk off and leave me again. I'm sitting there and I'm watching. Here comes a squirrel down the tree. Here comes a squirrel down there. And I just sit there. I'm afraid to shoot. I'm afraid Grandpa's going to slap shit out of me. So I just sit there and watch the squirrels. When we get ready to leave, well, I hear Dad and Grandpa shooting. And Dad, he comes back through there. And Dad's got 3 squirrels. And Grandpa's got a couple of them. And we go back to the car. And we're putting our guns back in the car. And that's back when they still had glass Pepsi bottles. And anyway, Grandpa picks up one of the Pepsi bottles and he walks out there about 20 yards and sits in the middle of the road behind us and he says, Little Eddie, that's what he called me, Little Eddie, and he says, shoot that bottle. He said, if you miss that, I'm going to whoop your ass. So I got on that ball and was steady and tried to get on it, and I shot it. He said, that's how you're supposed to shoot, right there. He said, you don't miss, no more miss. So the next time we went down, come over to Grandpa's, me and Grandpa and Dad went hunting. And Grandpa traded that Savage off on a single shot 410, and had that 410. I killed more squirrels with that 410. I don't know if you guys remember that 410. Killed more squirrels and more holes in the ceiling.
Oh, that's when you shot the hole in the ceiling of the house.
Same gun. Shot a hole in the ceiling.
Yeah, I remember that. Remember Grandpa coming over sticking his finger in it and said, yep. It's a hole.
But I ain't the only one that shot a hole in that.
Mom was in bed asleep. She come running in there and screaming and hollering.
I think Uncle George that shot a hole in that ceiling? Or was that with Mom's 22? That same
George shot one through the kitchen when your mama was in the kitchen. He was sitting over there, but
She was in there? What?
he had it down and shot. It went off and had a cabinet come out in front of the kitchen. She was in the kitchen. It went through the kitchen, but it didn't hit her or nothing. Scared the hell out of everybody.
Scared the crap out of her like everybody else.
Yeah.
It taught him one thing, though. He checked to make damn sure it was empty next time he went to messing with it.
It'll scare you, for sure.
Daddy would have caught me taking a gun and not looking to see if it had a bullet in it. He would have beat the shit out of me. He said all guns are loaded. Every one of them. Don't make a damn if you just walk by it and just seen the people take the bullets out. That's how much considered loaded. But if you don't look at it yourself, it's loaded.
Yeah.
You don't take nobody's word for it. Too many dead people. We've got too damn many kin folks dead. Several of them been shot. Just being stupid.
Yeah.
That's the first thing you're supposed to teach a kid. As soon as they can crawl across the floor, you're supposed to teach them to keep their hands off your guns.
Yep, that's what I tried to teach the girls. And then also when both of them got old enough to shoot, I would let them shoot every gun that I brought into the house, take it out there. That way it would take the one and know what that gun does out of their mind. My dad's got a new gun, let's go play with it. No, let's just take it out there and let you shoot it. You say, hey, here, you know what it does.
Know what it takes to make it operate.
A lot better off to be familiar with it than
that first AR that I had.
Be dumb enough to try to grab one of them and not know what to do with it.
Yeah. Yep.
The first AR I had, I took the girls out and let them shoot it. Ashley, one time she's done. Don't want nothing to do with it. Don't want to, she's still that way today. She don't want.
She don't
Sarah,
have a gun, does she?
Nope. Sarah out there, she shot that gun. We sat over there. She shot that gun and shot that gun. Loaded it up another mag. She shot that gun. It's like I like that.
Yeah, I wonder if she didn't take good away from
Yeah, no kid.
Yeah.
Frank, how many deer you reckon you killed in your lifetime?
2.
Just 2. I mean, you killed or checked in?
That I ain't too sure about.
Whenever He come and got us. Wanted to come help us, boys. I don't know how many. Had 4 or 5 of them down back there in the back there. So
I remember that too.
yeah.
Over there where the Andersons' place was. You might remember
Oh,
What?
they were.
Were you shooting them off the mule too?
No, they was 5 of them running across the field.
And
You
you
got
got every one of them, huh?
I missed one of them.
Dang, nabbit.
They was.
that. I remember that because
It's hard to shoot with 30-06 at a couple 200 or 300 yards.
Yeah,
Something running wide open,
yeah.
but they was out in the field.
Well, you about 80% shot with it anyhow. 4 out of 5. That's
I shouldn't have never missed the other one.
I remember that because
waste of a shell.
he come down at the house down there and he says, he told Dad, he says, "Hey, need some help getting these jackrabbits."
Yeah, well, then season didn't mean a whole lot when we needed meat.
No,
we needed
you need meat to eat. That's a different story.
Yeah, survival.
But
Yeah.
you did used to hunt off that old mule, though, didn't you?
All the time.
And you'd shoot deer off the back of it?
Deer, hogs, squirrels, a few birds,
Yeah.
anything got in the way. Hell, mule didn't care.
When did the hogs start coming around? Because they ain't been here forever.
Oh yeah, these hogs now we got wild hogs.
Right.
The hogs that used to be down here wasn't wild hogs. They was hogs that all these old farmers around here and stuff, they'd have maybe 40, 50 hogs. They just turn some bitches loose.
Huh.
Clip their ears, turn them loose. End of the year, they get out there with the dogs, run them all up in the damn pen. One with just you got 2 cuts on his ears. That's mine. We've got 3.
Huh.
That belonged to
I
this
didn't
guy
know
down
that.
the road.
So they didn't have to feed them, I guess.
Yeah, well, yeah, they just turn them loose out there.
Yeah.
But if you run across one out there in the road and you was hungry, you just kill that sucker.
I didn't know that. Where'd the wild hogs come from?
They might-
Well, part of them come from over at Pegs. When that old boy had that hunting deal over there, hunting lodge over there, and he had all them Russian boars in there, you can't keep a damn hog in a pen.
No.
Turn it out there and say, well, take your gun and go out there and kill that hog. It's out there in that pasture. Not no more. He's off down in the woods somewhere. And the other ones are coming up out of Texas.
Yeah.
They're migrating up this way.
Yeah.
We got a lot of hogs down here. We ain't got nothing compared to Texas.
Well, Frank, when we was kids, I remember this going down to Ed Hickman's down there and going
Yeah.
down and going and hunting for hogs when we was kids.
They was Ed Hickman's.
That's what I was wondering. I didn't know if they was Ed's or what, but I remember me, you, Dad, George, a whole bunch of us going there and hunting hogs back when we was kids.
Well, he went over to Sale and bought a whole trailer load of damn pigs, from little bitty pigs to great big pigs. Took them up Big Holler and made a pen up there and put them all in that pen, and they stayed a few minutes. And they took off, and he says, if you want them, you can have them, because we can't catch them. And we never did catch them. A hog is hard to hunt.
I remember going down there and hunting, but I don't ever remember anybody killing one of them.
Well, the old boy up there, up on the hill up there behind Ed's, he killed the 2 big ones. They come to his house, and he shot both of them. But them little ones, nobody knows where the hell they went. They might still be, well, they can't still be running around out there. A bunch of kinfolk probably is.
Yeah, it could
Yeah.
be that, yeah.
There's a bunch of them around there. And they was all kinds of, that old, big old spotted sow down there in the bottoms. She's had a jillion babies. She probably had 20 babies of different sizes with her when I seen her. And I couldn't never get a shot at her.
Huh.
And I ain't heard nobody about killing her, not yet.
Yeah.
Then we seen last night, the daddy and mama was black. All the baby ones was red.
Really?
Every one of them. So they're out of that boar that's with that black sow. It's not the daddy. Somewhere there's a red boar somewhere running around out there.
He don't even know it, does he?
I know that the guy that's got that place by Ricky's up there. He said he's got on camera. He's got a big old boar that he said his back will come up over his belly. He's so big on his camera.
Well, that one I run across down there, he's about that tall. I'd say pushing 500 pounds probably.
That's what he was saying.
And he's long.
Me and Cody saw him down there a couple of years ago. We walked up on a group of them, and I guarantee you, it looked like a bunch of heifers out there. Those pigs, big old pigs.
Yes. Now there's a bunch
All
of
of them black. All of them
Yeah.
black.
that old boar's running by itself. The only time he ever gets, I guess, with them sows is when they getting ready for babies. But his tracks, you can follow him around. He comes around the edge of the lake by himself. He won't be with none of the rest of them.
Huh.
And I just happened to go down one morning, and he was coming down around the edge of the fence when I was coming around that way. But he would back it down. I couldn't get a good shot at him. All I had was 22. I couldn't get a shot at him. And you can just waste your time shooting one of 22.
Yeah.
If he don't turn around and look at you where you can hit him right, they know you shooting him.
Yeah.
I shot one over up Clear Creek over there one time. I emptied my 22 inside that thing, run alongside of him, and loaded it back and emptied it again, and he still went out in the lake. They are just, you can't hardly kill them.
They're tough. Ain't they?
Yeah, they're
Of
tough.
course, Gary shot that one boar over there. All he had was 3 shots for that 30-30. Waste of time shooting that big old boar, put him up a tree. George went over there then with the 22 because Gary called him, told him to bring a gun. He brought 22. He filled him full of
Hung in
22
a
bullets.
tree.
And he finally went off right in the edge of the lake out there, and them holes in him, so many holes in him that he drowned it. Filled him up with water, and he couldn't swim. Them hogs can swim really good if they ain't hurt.
Yeah.
And he got out there for nothing. And we went down the next day, and Gary went out and waded out in where he said he went down at, and sure enough, that's where he was at. Drug his blood out, but he was way older than me. He'd been around forever. But that other one is big, and he'd been around for a while. He's a big hog.
Yeah.
He's dangerous.
You ever have any close calls with pigs down there?
Well, no, I was at my stand when they all run out of the stand one morning, and they come through. You could hear them coming from 200 or 300 yards. It sounded like they was tearing the world up, man. They was coming making so much noise.
Bunch of
And
them.
they run right under my deer stand. Full speed. You try to get early in the morning, try to get a bead on a hog. Just a waste of time. Watch them go. They all went to Cedar Hills where they went.
Oh, yeah.
But we had trail cameras down there by the blind every night. They'd come in there, might be 8 or 10 in a bunch. And there'd be half a dozen bunches come in every night. Deer try to come in there, hogs run them off. They hear that feeder go off. Here they come.
Huh.
And Gary, I don't know, he got somewhere out there, I don't know wherever he was working, he got a whole bunch of salt. I mean, in a 55-gallon barrel of salt. And we took it out there. He took it out there and poured a whole bunch of it out. And them hogs they've got a hell of a hole out there. To where they've
Getting
been
that
eating
salt out of the ground.
They eat all the salt, and now they're eating the ground.
Eating the dirt around it.
Yeah, eating the dirt to get the salt out of it.
You ever shoot at one mechanical deers?
Just it once.
You shot at one once?
Some just won't fall over either.
You did shoot at one
Yeah,
time?
I shot one.
How'd that go?
It cost me about, I think about $90.
When was
That was cheap compared to mine.
Hey, if you're gonna tell that story, get to make sure you're at that thing.
Huh?
I want to hear this
You want
story.
to hear my story?
Yeah,
Let's hear Frank's first.
I've heard it, but second
I didn't know you
hand.
shot at one, Frank. I didn't remember. I didn't remember that. I told him it was entrapment, didn't you?
I shot one down at the Dorset
It-
pasture.
It pretty much is entrapment, but you know, especially when you've lived there your whole life and you go down there and you hunt on the place and you've hunted the place. It's like me and both the girls and had Daniel in the vehicle and we was heading out. Thought we'd go around by Hadley Mountainside, right there where old Tiger used to live, and Tiger's house had done burnt down and he'd already passed away, you know, he died, and in that land that he owned right there, we drove through there and they had one of them fake deer set up. And actually, one of the kids' gun, it's probably the gun that you have now, that little bitty short,
That U-223.
that U-223. It was
Yeah,
one
I
of the
still
girls
have
at the
it, yeah.
time.
It's in that
That
safe
we
right
come
there.
through there, and there was a big buck on the right side and a big buck on the left side. And anyway, it's one of them, they got that moves the tail and all that
Mechanical
mechanical bullshit. And anyway, to make a long story short, I rolled down the wind, put the old gun right behind the shoulder of him and pulled the trigger, and was pow, and the deer goes whoop, 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 whoop. That's like, didn't move, and I said, oh shit. And Daniel said, what's wrong, Uncle Sonny? And I said, just sat in the truck. I got out of the truck, popped the shell out of the truck, set the gun on the hood of the truck, and old Duffy was coming across the fence.
Who's Duffy?
Game warden.
That's his last name? Or?
Yeah, that was his last name. He was
He's
the
not-
one that
he's
actually
not
did.
around anymore.
No, he's not around anymore. He was actually the one that done my hunter safety course, and he come across the fence, and he was laughing his ass off. And he said, "How come you didn't shoot at that one over there?" And I said, "'Cause that sumbitch over there twice as big." But it cost me about $400, wasn't it?
Yep, they didn't get you for shooting the deer. They got you for shooting the gun out of the truck
Shooting
in the
from-
road.
I had 3 tickets. One of them was shooting from a public roadway. One of them was shooting from a motorized vehicle, and the other one was for shooting on public land or private land or something like that. It was 3 tickets for that, but it didn't get me for shooting a deer. It was those 3 tickets.
Yeah, they couldn't get you for shooting a deer.
And what's that been? 20 years ago, probably, or
Maybe longer than that. It's been probably 30 years ago. Because the kids was a little bitty.
Ashley probably like 8 or 10
Yeah,
years.
Ashley and Dan were both little bitty. And anyway, so the game warden, they come out and they say, hey, the first thing they do is, hey, you get in your car and you follow me down here. Where are we going? Why don't you just, do it right now? You just get in the car and follow me down here. They want you out of the way so they can get somebody else going there. So we drive down there, and when we drive down, we pull into David's place. Uncle David Barnhart's place, pull into his place, and it's all growed up even then, back then, because nobody was living there. And we pull in there, and he pulls right in behind me, and I get out and I go in, and he's writing me tickets, and I'm talking to him, and then I'm telling him, he said, there could have been somebody back in there. He said, you could have shot somebody back in there. I said, there's nothing back there. I said, I've hunted that my whole life. And then it's like, there's no need, you shouldn't be lying to me. I mean, all this time, Duffy was stayed there, and this other guy's the one to give me the ticket. He says, it ain't gonna go good on you if you're lying to me. And I said, I ain't lying to you, dude. I said, I've been raised down here my whole life. I said, I've hunted all this land down here. I said, there's nothing back there. I said, if I would have thought there was a house or somebody back there, I wouldn't have shot. I said, when you're raised down here, and you pretty much know what's there in the woods. You know if there's anything back there and anybody hunting there. And then I said, and I was like telling the guy, I said, well, the guy that owns this is actually dead. He passed away. And I said, how did you even get permission to put that in there on his land? And then it's like we don't have to have permission. We could put it wherever we want to put it. It's okay, whatever. And so, and I can't remember, and I'm wanting to say it was Uncle Jody pulled up there and pulled in behind us. And I was telling him, I said, this where we're parked at right here belongs to my uncle. Belongs to my Uncle Jody's brother, David. And he said, well, you said, I don't believe that. He says, and I said, well, you're parked right on his land. And anyway, so Uncle Jody pulls up behind us and gets out and comes in there and he says, hey, what's going on? Hey, Sonny, how you doing? and then as soon as he said that, I said, oh, I shot one of them bait deer they got up there to try to get everybody to shoot. And he said, oh, okay, well, I'll talk to you later, and gets in the car and leaves. And so then after that,
about shooting one of them too.
yeah. And then after that, the game warden's like, he's being nicer to me because he realized that, hey, I'm not lying to him. I was raised around there, you know. Of course, could have went a lot worse. And he said, I could take your gun, I could do all that, but Vince, that's your kid's gun. I'm not going to take your gun. He said, we could do a lot of stuff that we're not going to do. But he said, you've been pretty nice. You've been telling me the truth. And he says, there for a little bit, I thought maybe you might have been lying to me, but you wasn't. But, yeah.
Well, that makes me feel pretty good. I've got that gun in the safe there. I've heard that story before,
But yeah. Yeah.
What about yours, Frank? When did you shoot one? How long ago's that been?
Back before time. Somewhere.
I'm trying to figure if you and Sonny shot the same one. If you'd been through
No,
that day or
I
something.
think yours before Sonny's was.
Yeah, it was.
It was back out when the road got
kind of
dirt.
Vaguely remember that. But
Damn.
How many years that's been?
But you know, I've never shot a deer or even attempted to shoot one from the roadway. I've watched a great big old freaking buck and during rifle season, had a gun and could have killed it 10 feet off the road and thought, sure as shit as I do, that game warden come driving up. You know, it puts a perspective in your mind. I mean,
Well, next time when you get that deer lined up right like you like it,
mash
smash that gas. Put off the brake and hit that gas.
yeah. Could do that in one of them old trucks, but it's hard to do in a new truck.
I don't think they hardly do that kind of stuff anymore. I don't know that I've ever seen a mechanical deer. Every deer I've ever seen runs away. So
Well, I remember.
Well, they've got them
they
now,
run
by golly, they move.
oh yeah.
Yeah, they be walking out through there.
Yeah, they've got.
Move their head up and down and all this good crap.
It's probably before you guys' time. You guys probably don't remember it, but that mechanical deer they running around Mays County all the time. I think it was the very same deer that I shot. Somebody stole this stupid thing and took it over to Whitaker Park in Pryor and put a red nose on it. I don't know if you remember that. Put a red nose on the thing and took it out and put it in the damn Whitaker Park pond.
Huh.
Yeah,
Oh dang.
I remember that like it was yesterday.
They would have got all kinds of fines, wouldn't they? You don't know who done it though, do you?
No. No, I know what I want to do is I want to sneak back down here on the backside of Tigers and come up the backside of it, take a knife with me and run up there and start stabbing it or something. And say, see if they'd come over the fence and see what they'd say if I was stabbing that deer. You know,
They couldn't do nothing to you if you got out of the road.
as
You
long
could
as you
shoot
got
it.
off.
Shoot it if you got out of the road. You could shoot it. You go over and stab it, rope it, cut its horns off, or whatever the hell you want to do. But you couldn't do it from the road.
Yeah.
Or from your vehicle.
Well, Frank, I'm here to tell you that time you get out that truck, deer liable to run away.
Well,
They don't stand there too long.
I stepped out of mine and put a cap on my 50 caliber.
And
And
shot
Yeah.
a mechanical one, or
And then smoke
I
cleared.
put a big hole in the sucker.
When smoke cleared, it was too late.
yeah, it wasn't loaded, was it? So you got out and loaded it.
Yeah, they could not get me for having a loaded gun.
They never give me a ticket for that
But it
either.
was a 50 caliber, and it was empty.
Yeah, they never got me for that. But I didn't have it loaded. I actually loaded it, and it's like they knew that because the big pause there. I guess he figured I was loading a gun. I don't know, but
you didn't have a suspicion at all that it wasn't real, though, huh?
no.
You can't tell the difference. You take and look out here 100 yards or so,
It
you
actually,
can't tell if it's real or
it
not.
actually is a real deer. It's like having one of your deer mounts out there. It's a deer. It is. It's
Yeah.
basically a real
That's
deer.
That's what it is.
In that they got it moving around. It's got real actual horns on it or anything, and it's like I told him, I said, oh, Duffy, I said, hey, I want to go down there and see where I shot that deer. No, we can't do that. And I was like, well, I'm pretty sure I hit it right where I was aiming at.
I gotta make sure this thing's shot. Well, that gun, funny story about that is it's actually that buck right there. I killed it with that gun when I was 12 years old. And the way Dad's always done stuff, I don't know if Frank does it this way, because I don't know where Dad learned it from, but Dad'll say, yeah, it's just shooting about 3 inches low. Is all it is. And shoot me out with the gun, and sure enough, that buck's standing out there.
If you know how you
about 90 yards.
You know how your gun's shooting. You don't. I don't worry about really adjusting on it. It shoots a little low.
Well, it's shooting
Ain't
low at what yard?
I've always been that way. I've always done it. Well, you know how your gun shoots. Well, it shoots a little low up. 100 yards is a little low.
That particular youth 223 you're talking about, I killed that deer with. It's shooting about 3 inches low, so I aim high, and I put that thing right up top of that buck's back and shot him. And then, funny story, there's a buck under there I got too. Dad had killed a little 9-point out stand the day before, and I was by myself, of course, and Dad come out there, helped me track this deer. This before I knew I was colorblind even. And Dad's falling blood. And I said, Dad, he didn't come this way. He circled around way back in the woods like that and went way around that way. And he's walking this way. And he's like, well, there's blood here. I'm like, okay, but I'm telling you, he didn't go this way. And we follow this blood trail 100 yards or so and get to a big circle there. And Dad says, I think this is where I gutted my deer yesterday. And by that time I looked over and I seen a deer laying there. I said, well, Dad, there's a deer laying over there. And sure enough, it's my buck. It wasn't 70, 80 yards from where Dad had gutted his deer the day before. Same stand.
Yeah, that little gun's was an awesome little gun. That was Sarah killed her first deer with that gun. And we thought it was actually deer hunting back behind the house, and we was sitting there, and I think, what was Sarah, 8 when she killed her first deer? Sitting there, and she had that gun, and I had my 308, and we was sitting there, and I told her, I said, there's come some deer. They're coming from the left. They're going to come across. I said, when they get in that open spot right there, I'll whistle at them or something. I'll make them stop. I said, it's about 80 yards. I said, we've been practicing high shoulder. Make sure you get it high shoulder.
Did the gun shoot low then?
No, it didn't shoot low then. I don't know what you done to it when you guys got it, but it shot pretty straight. Of course, it may have shot low for you because she was little. We had it sighted in for her. She sighted it on a bench. I mean, it may have. Everybody shoots a little different. But that little button buck's what it ended up being. We thought it was a doe. Going to shoot a doe. Legal. It was all legal to shoot. So it come walking out through there, and I said, I whistled. And it kept walking. I whistled again. Kept walking. I said, hey! And it kept walking. About that time, boom! And I looked over at her, and she said, well, it wasn't going to stop. And I said, and it was laying down there kicking. I said, well, it looks like you got a good hit on it. So we go down there to get it. She hit it high shoulder where she was told to hit it. I mean, the little gun, but like I say, it may have been set up for her because we put it on a bench and let her shoot it. She shot that thing probably 50 times. It was like I kept instilling at her. And it would be, for me, the thing was shooting low, but for her, it was shooting dead on. Yeah. So maybe the way it was set up.
Frank, you remember your first deer?
No.
Been too long ago.
How old do you reckon you were? Well, you said there wasn't a whole lot of deer around back then.
Been something like 60 years or so ago.
Yeah.
That's been a long time. And I don't remember before I was that. Oh, yes, I do. It wasn't in this country. First one I ever killed, I was in Arizona.
Really?
Yep. I killed one I wasn't even supposed to. Didn't even have a license for it. Old boy with me like he had a heart attack. He drove all the way back to town from out on that big ranch and got a woman to come out there and get that deer. Because he says, you can't get it off this ranch. He says, you have to go through a check station to get it off the ranch. Game warden had a check station set up at the gates getting off that ranch.
Huh.
And he didn't know I had a wild hog in that one of them javelinas in a duffel bag in the back of the truck. Well, he would have had a fit. I got it off.
You got away with the pig, huh?
Got away with it. And that's the first deer I killed. Though I tell you, it's a desert.
How old do you think you were?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I was already married. Somewhere along in there. I was in early 60s, somewhere along in there.
Well, it's funny how things change, though. My dad told me about him shooting at his first deer. He said, he shot, walked over about where it stands, said, hell, I guess I missed it, and went home.
Well,
Don't do that, though.
Jody,
We did.
I think this was his first buck that you killed. You remember killing that deer, me taking you over there and shooting your first buck?
Yeah, 6 point over there by Maisie.
Yeah, took him over to Maisie, and he was going to go set in a tree, and I was going to walk through the woods and run him this old buck. And then, so I walked out there, the wind was blowing real hard, and that old buck was bedded down. And so I back out there and walked down and got him and said, Jody, come up here and shoot this deer. And he's like, well, just run it to me. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Just run it to
Just
me.
run to me. I'll be over here.
Yeah, and I said, no,
It's over here.
it's laying down.
It's laying down with you. I said, you gotta be kidding.
And
Oh yeah, it's just laying over here. Come on, let's go get it.
And the funny thing
Okay.
about that was, the gun he was using was Dad's old 7 Mauser.
Mauser,
That's an old Mauser.
Open
in,
sight
in
Mauser, yeah.
open sights. Jody's a left-handed and it's right-handed gun. So we get up there
Saying,
too.
before we get close to, he's like, if you can't hit this damn thing, give me the gun. I'll hit it for you.
Yeah.
I said, no. I said, I got this.
So we get up there and that thing, you get what, 20 yards from that deer, and it
Right
finally
up
stands
there.
right up on top of that deer. It
14.
stands up and Jody shoots, and then and before that deer could move 10 feet because he done knocked it down, he's got another one in it, left-handed, shooting right-handed, shoots at another one, and then shoots it the third time, and I'm like, Jody, it's dead. Remember that?
How the hell did you get so close to it for?
Because the wind was blowing about 50 mile an hour out of the south, real hard.
Wind blowing right in our face.
You just
coming
walked
out.
right up on it.
So he couldn't
Gave her hell, huh?
It was in some tall grass, and we just
Yeah.
walked up through it.
I'm 54. I got my first left-handed gun 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah, but he
Always shot right.
He slammed him 3 shells in there so fast it wouldn't have, I mean, you'd think somebody's shooting automatic. And he was, I mean, it put him in there pretty quick. I think you hit it all 3 times too, didn't you?
Yeah.
I believe you did.
Yeah, surely.
And we was,
Yeah,
we
nice
was,
little guy. I mean, it was probably 110 inches, probably.
yeah, probably.
Just guessing. It was a nice buck.
It was a nice little buck, and I think we was driving a car, and I think we ended up dragging it up there, dragging it in the trunk of the car.
I don't know if you can really legally rifle hunt where he's at. I think it's a shotgun only area. It's over at Maisie, so
Yeah,
actually, not on the highway.
actually,
I know
most-
exactly where it's
Nobody
at.
kills their first deer legal, does it?
Shotguns and bows and arrows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We usually
I shot my first buck off the back of Fuller.
That one there?
Yeah.
This
That
road
was right
on
there.
the horns is
That's
first
right.
buck
Oh, the railroad
1987
tracks
or
back
so.
Yeah.
So I can't remember 17 or
That one
18
you was
years
driving
old.
Fuller, I was sitting on the back of it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Well,
You killed a couple of back four-wheeler one, or you was on the front of the four-wheeler. That one buck, I spotted that thing though, and my gun was caught up under my orange, and I couldn't get it up on my shoulder, and then the thing takes off running. And Dad says, "Shit, that was a nice buck," and then he ends up shooting the damn thing.
That was a good shot, too.
He's like, "Dad's a buck right there," and he's like,
Yeah.
"Where?" I'm like, "Right there." He's like, "Well, shoot it," and I couldn't get my gun. That is it. Dang T-23 we're talking
Through
about.
some timber, he was way out there, too, wasn't he?
Yeah, dropped him dead in his tracks.
Yeah.
too.
you learn real
It
quick
wasn't
when
that
we're
deer,
having all
about
of us together that you don't wait.
No,
That's what I told Maddie that time we was hunting up there. You don't wait. And old buck jumped up there, and I give her a few seconds to shoot the thing, and she didn't shoot it, so I shot it.
Yeah.
Frank, you remember the deer you killed over Cedar Hill at one time that you asked me? We was both walking out back in the dump on the backside over there. And I said, "Hey, I seen a blood trail over there." Frank, "Well, I shot one, didn't find it." And I said, "Well, take me over and show me where that blood trail's at." So I took you over and showed you, and it was your deer you'd shot, and it laying there and you gut shot it. You went over and you stuck your foot on his horns and you cut his throat and it jumped up and took off. It went down Cedar Hill and up on the other side. You had to drag it all the way out. But I never forget that.
Thing of it, I shot him down there by the pond, going west. And as soon as he got in the timber, he went out and come back behind me and across the road. That's where the blood trail was.
Yeah.
Oh, and you saw the blood trail on the road?
I told him we kind of met up back here. I seen him back here. And I seen the blood trail. Take me
I
show
was
me where you
wondering
seen
how you
that.
just happened to find the blood trail, but it's
Yeah.
crossing the road.
A lot of times,
Yeah,
A
it's
lot
crossing
of
the
times
road.
you walk across the blood trail, you see it.
Yeah,
No,
not me.
If they're bleeding,
So I
pretty
showed him, and then we ended
I
up
can't
getting
see
back on the track and tracked it all the way to Cedar Hill in Atlanta. There he is, right there, Frank. Walk over there and I put his foot on his horn and
I
cut his
can't
throat and
see
take
it
off.
at all.
You can't see blood.
Red green colorblind. I didn't know it till a few years ago even. I shot that other buck there at other 11 point over there, and I called Dad and I said, well, I shot one. I said, I know I hit him. He ran into a tree and this and that, and I can see some hair on this tree here, but I said I can't. I don't know where he went. I ain't see no blood, and I looked for I don't know half an hour. It took Dad and Trey showed up there 30, 45 minutes later, and the whole time I'm sitting there walking circles looking for blood, and I'm thinking, man, I guess you can bleed. And Dad gets there and says, oh boy, it's bleeding good. Look at all the blood. I'm like, where? Show me this blood. I can't see it. I just can't see it. Then come take some colorblind tests and stuff, and I got moderate deutony. All the dots that are red and green and orange, and I can't see nothing. I can't tell nothing of them.
Huh.
But
Well,
didn't know it. I didn't know. I guess my mom's dad is red green colorblind too. So
You best shoot them and knock them down where you hit them at.
That's why he always stops on the green light and goes on the red light.
Well, if Dad ain't been there to blood trail them, then I've either dropped them dead in their tracks, or well, everyone that I've shot with my muzzleloader, it's either fell right there in its tracks, or I walk about where it was standing and see it laying over there. I've never tracked any
More
of
deer
them.
at the muzzleloader I've shot and did not find than I've got.
I've got good luck with that muzzleloader.
Never have good luck
It's
with the
one I got from
muzzleloader.
Cody, and
Better luck with the bow than I did
just since
muzzleloader.
I've had it, it's killed 9 bucks. Not all of mine. Trey's killed buck with it. Maddie's killed buck with it, but it pretty much usually always drops them right there.
Back in that day, right there, though, you guys all use shotguns, didn't you, to deer hunt? Did you guys? Grandpa did, because that's what he shot that old 16 gauge, and I remember.
I had a double barrel 12, and your daddy had that pump. I ain't sure where. I think he had the 16 pump 16 is what he was using.
Well,
He was hunting Oologah.
that one right there is what Grandpa had, that pump
Well,
16.
Yeah,
That's the one Tim's still got right now.
I think that's the one your daddy was using up there when we shot all that deer's legs off. And I was using that double barrel. And he'd shoot once and I'd shoot twice.
You shot his legs off.
You guys used to bird
Yeah,
that, didn't you?
well, he was about 20 here up yonder. There's his house up yonder. Just a couple, 200 or 300 yards.
With
Well,
the shotgun
and
too, huh?
Yeah, with shotgun
Yeah.
like his up here. Rainbowing them in on there. But we were shooting his legs off.
Did you ever catch up to him?
Well, yeah, we killed him. He couldn't walk that far.
Yeah.
He couldn't outrun us. Me and Sonny was after him now across the field down there below Motorcycle Hill.
Huh.
That was before they raised the water at Oologah. Big fields out there.
Yeah.
Timber, everything.
Well, when we was hunting out there when I was a kid, and you had Randy with you, they made was them just big fields back then, or was the lake already there?
No, they hadn't raised the lake when we was hunting up there then. We was hunting on top of the hill above Motorcycle Hill up there then, though. Up on that ranch. And
Okay.
that was before whoever bought that ranch closed it all off where you couldn't hunt on it no more. But it was where you could hunt in there all the time. We hunted it all the time. We took our motorcycles up there and rode them up through the field, chased deer all over the country. That's where old Kenneth Wood almost landed that airplane on top of us on top of Motorcycle Hill and running out of gas up there chasing coyotes. He landed it right there where they had that parking spot on top of the hill, right there on Motorcycle Hill. He landed that airplane on it. And we was up there on it where we was at.
And did you say you were chasing coyotes, or he was chasing?
He was chasing coyotes in the airplane.
Really?
And he goofed around, run out of gas, and he had to set it down. Couldn't just set it down anywhere, so he said that was open up on top of it where everybody had been because they'd run their motorcycles up there. He landed the airplane out, me and Sonny and I don't know who all was up there. There was 3 or 4 of us up on top of that Motorcycle Hill when he brought that airplane in there. We just had to get the hell out of the way because he didn't have no control of where he was going with it.
Yeah.
Just finding a place to land. And we was building houses for him, man. We told him how dumb he was, but it didn't bother him none. He went and bought him a brand spanking new truck. Put a overhead camper on it. Took it up there and got after a damn coyote running off a great big old ditch and totaled that sucker. Tore it all to hell. Didn't do no good telling him he wasn't supposed to do that either. He was a weird old boy. Had more money, he had sense. He built half the old Washington. He built it, his wife sold it. He built a house, his wife would sell it. We built a bunch of houses for him. But he loved to hunt coyotes.
Any which way he could, huh?
Yeah, he loved to chase them in that airplane.
Well, what would he do with them? How could he? Was he
didn't
shooting
do
them out of the
nothing.
plane,
I
or he was
don't
just chasing them around?
I never heard of him bringing nothing home with him, so I don't know. I don't think he done anything with them.
Huh.
I think he just had fun chasing them.
Yeah. I'll be dang.
But he chased them all over the country. All that country up north. You get up there above Oologah, or they're up in through there. Hell, ain't no trees. It's just flat prairie, man. Nothing up there.
Yeah.
He go up there all the time, chase coyotes, that airplane.
You ever do any coyote hunting?
Not no airplane. I've killed a few of them, but not no airplane. I didn't go out just looking for them to hunt them.
Yeah.
I've killed a few of them.
You got used to bird hunting quite a bit, didn't you?
Huh?
Dove hunt, bird hunt.
Oh yeah, we used to dove hunt all the time. We used to go over before Donald and Robert lived over off of March. And back in them days, everybody let you hunt on their place. They didn't care. And they was millions of doves and geese and quail and rabbits.
There's
Over
not any quail like they used to be. I mean,
over
we used to
in
walk down the bottoms.
Yeah. They ain't none down in the bottoms no more.
We used to walk down the bottoms and walk on the covey and fly all around you and scare the crap out of you. Now you don't never see any.
They ain't none down there no more.
As far as hunting land, you used to just pretty much hunt anywhere you wanted to back then. It's
Yeah.
anybody.
Nobody cared. They didn't care if you hunted on their land. As long as you didn't shoot their house or something.
There's a lot more land back then too.
Well, there wasn't no people.
Yeah.
Down in them verdigris bottoms, they wasn't hardly nobody.
As far as public hunting goes, there ain't a whole lot left anymore around here. But
Yeah, that wasn't really public hunting. All that country down in there was private. There's farmland.
Yeah.
And all them old farmers down there. If you killed doves and stuff, it was eating their wheat, head feed, and all that stuff. Good deal. Same way with the geese. Hell, the geese would come in there by the jillions, get out there in their alfalfa fields and stuff, and just mow it. They didn't care. Sneak out and kill the hell out of them.
There wasn't no limits or no thoughts on that.
Oh,
back
yeah,
then, was there?
They was a limit. You was allowed on geese. You was allowed 5 honkers then. And they didn't have all these old tame geese you got around here now. That you walk out there wring her neck. Then you had to sneak up on
As long
them.
as we got work over there, ain't very tame, them suckers will get you.
They'll attack
They'll
you.
attack you.
Yeah.
Some of the ones are our
Oh, yeah,
shop.
we got them.
They've actually had a
They'll
couple people
have
attack
attack
now.
the truck and everything driving
Yeah.
by there.
They won't let us do nothing with them. They're supposed to be, well, as long as they're on GRDA property, they're supposed to be protected.
Yeah.
And me and Tim was driving around the other day, and Tim tried to run over one in the golf cart. Golf cart don't go quite fast enough to run over one. But
Frank, I heard you hunted a cow.
Honey, cow. I don't have to hunt cows. They're everywhere.
There was some story about you hunting a cow or something.
No cows.
You don't know nothing about that?
Well, somewhere along your grandpa wanted one. Well, I took it to him.
How much did he pay you for it?
$20
$20.
Where do you get it?
from my neighbor.
So he
He had a bunch of them.
He didn't miss it.
He didn't miss one.
He missed one.
Oh man.
Slim didn't say nothing about cows no more. I took it in, but on his kitchen table. He just half of it's all he got for $20. He didn't tell me that no more though.
$20.
He didn't tell you like to have half of that cow out there in that pasture.
Nope, he said no more. Your grandma liked to run him off.
Over there.
I remember doing some rabbit hunting, and we went to Wagner, I think, somewhere around Wagner. And there was an old station wagon going across the field. I don't know where he was at, but somewhere around
Muddy
Wagner.
though. Remember, I thought we were gonna get stuck.
I did too. You was driving, I think, Frank.
Swamp rabbits?
Yeah.
Yep.
Some old field went across.
South side of Wagner.
Plowed up. We was just jumping in the old plowed fields, the old station wagon. We was in the back of that thing.
Yeah. It was in the very back of it.
Yeah.
And you were. I remember.
Bouncing around, wasn't we?
Yeah.
Was you trying to run down the
No,
rabbit?
we're trying to get across that field so we could hunt on the back side of it. And Frank was driving a wagon, station wagon. We was driving across that field, trying to keep them getting stuck, so we was moving on pretty good across it.
I had to clear that out. 'Cause might have been hunting rabbit out of an airplane.
No, we
or
got out-
something.
we got out of the car. We got out of the car and
I thought we
hunted.
had some
We killed quite a few
dogs, didn't
rabbits.
we? A couple beagles or something like that. Or?
Used to be a lot of swamp rabbits over south of Wagner.
Yeah.
Over in them. It's swamps is what it is.
Yeah.
It along that Verdigris River, it is swampy. But you can go over now, and if you find one, you're lucky. They've been killed out.
Yeah. We got plenty of cottontail in my yard. They show up right about
the only
dark.
place. They ain't out in the country hardly.
No.
They're mostly in people's yard.
We got to
Where
work
they-
over
where
there.
they're at.
Shoot.
They're all over our plan over there.
You drive down our road to our house, you about see 10 before you get to the gate.
Yeah.
About dark.
We had one in the garden last night.
Thing of it is, by the time it gets
Eating
cold
Lisa's
enough to eat them,
beans.
Yeah.
something else has done eat them.
Yeah.
Dogs, cats, hawks, or something other.
Yeah. Well, they ain't too skittish. There's a wonder they're still around here.
So they had an infestation of them years ago, as everywhere.
You used to be able to
Millions and millions of them everywhere.
go out and
Until
kill.
Frank got a hold of them with bean flip, huh?
Yeah, I killed a few with bean flip, but I don't think I hurt the population that much.
What about squirrels? How many squirrels you reckon you killed?
I didn't kill as many squirrels with bean flips as I did rabbits and birds.
Or what about just in general? How many squirrels they killed? Or 22 in all.
With 22 and all,
Yeah, any
I
weapon. How
don't
many?
couldn't pile them in here. I've killed a bunch. But we've eaten a lot of squirrels. A lot of squirrels.
How fast can you skin a squirrel?
I don't know. I never did clock it.
Depends on how tough he is, huh?
It's kind of stiff.
These here,
Yeah,
these are twice as hard to clean as a gray.
There's a gray there too, up beside you there.
The grays are a lot harder to clean. And
Which one's harder? The gray or the
the
fox?
red's harder.
Yeah.
The gray is a lot easier to
Yeah,
clean.
their hides comes off them a lot easier, don't
Yeah, it comes off a lot easier, and the meat's tenderer.
Well, them are-
Even the baby reds are tougher than the grays.
I hate to admit it, them are shotgun squirrels there. Me and Cody went dove hunting, and there wasn't a dove to be found, so I come back with some squirrels. I think we ended up with 8 squirrels that morning it's a good dove hunt. I figured.
Well, them there,
but-
I see you skimped them because you wanted to save the hide.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
normally you wouldn't skin one that way.
I trapped them two side by side a couple seasons ago. It's funny,
Yeah.
possums there. It's funny that there ain't nothing the same about either of them. Look like 2 different animals.
Yep.
The one on the right's a lot better looking, isn't he?
They're soft though. You wouldn't think possums are
Trapped them
soft.
side by
Possum's
side.
soft.
Their hides pretty dang soft, really.
We got one about that size right now coming through the yard about every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of them got winter hide on them.
Yeah.
Look at that one.
Then, dude, they're soft though. Ain't they?
This year outside hide is, and this here's the one they go by. What's down in under here?
Yeah.
It's that down out of there is fur. This up here's hair.
Yeah, dude, they're
You ever eat one of them?
Yep, a few of them.
You had possum before?
Yep. Possum's alright.
It's all right.
Yeah, it's got a lot of fat on them, most of them.
Yeah.
And
What-
if you're out in the middle of nowhere and you need to cook one of them, usually they got enough fat to have all the grease you want.
What about coon? You ever eat one of them?
I don't like coons.
But you've tried them though.
Yeah, I've tried them. I don't like them. Don't like armadillos either.
I can't figure coon would be very good to eat. They're greasy.
They got it. The coon ain't greasy. Possum's greasy. The coon is just got a bad taste to me. It don't taste right.
But you don't like armadillo either, huh?
No, armadillos. I don't like armadillos. They can have them suckers. They nasty.
I mean, the first one I ever saw, Dad come bringing it in the house, which is where you live at right now, holding it by the tail, and it was a squirrel, and I had no idea what it was. So,
Yeah.
first one I ever saw.
Uh,
I think I was probably four years old, probably.
I've caught a few of them, but I ain't never ate one.
Well, the old boy in Florida, me and George tried. We run one out in the brush here in Florida.
An armadillo.
Yeah, we were just gonna kill it, to get rid of it because we didn't want no damn armadillo. That old boy like that a hemorrhage, man. He said, "Eat that sucker." So well, welcome to him.
Huh.
So he took him home with him. I said, "Well, I ain't never eat armadillo. I don't know what it'd be like." So me killed one down when we lived down there in East Texas. And he cleaned that sucker and then cooked it, and I took a bite of it, and I said, "Well, so much for that. I ain't eating goddamn armadillos." Nasty sucker.
I read somewhere they call them a Hoover pig, or they call them poor man's pork because of Great Depression.
Diggers, what they call them. Because they dig down and people say they dig down a grave and eat the worms and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And they might. I don't know. They live on worms.
I caught one a while back. I just ran up and grabbed it and somebody's video, and I posted it on YouTube. Somebody left a comment on there. It's just one comment, and it said, "Them damn carry leprosy." And I looked it up, and
That's what they say.
do carry leprosy. It said they don't carry it, but they're susceptible to it like people are. We're one of the
That's what they
only
say.
animals that can get leprosy. But
The old people used to say if you messed with them, you'd get leprosy from them. And I don't know.
I messed with a few of them. I come out of the house one time, right out when this was the add-on the trailer, and right off the back, and there was the deck around the back side, and I come out around the back one time, and Jamie's back there raising a fuss, and I come around the corner, and she's under the porch, right back here, and there's an armadillo trying to get under this building here. and she's got it by the tail, leaning back, and she's like, "It's trying to get into the house." And I'm like, "Okay, well, pull it out." And she's like, "I can't pull it out." And she's leaning back, got the thing by the tail, leaning back as hard as she can. And I said, "Well, let me get over." I go there and grab that thing, and I jerked it like that, and I swung that thing across the yard. It went flying. It took off running. But I don't know what I just remember walking outside, and James back there said, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" He said, "That's what I'm doing. I was trying to get in the house."
You reach down there and get it by the back legs, though. And as soon as you get a hold of his back legs like that, you can just pick him up any which way you want to.
Huh.
Because he can't do nothing with his front legs.
Yeah.
But his back legs are strong. You can't pull him
They're
out of the
strong.
hole.
You can't pull them out of the hole. They're
Yeah.
strong.
Yeah.
But if you reach in and get him by the back legs, you can pull him out.
Yeah.
He can't hang on with his front legs. But if you get one leg loose, he'll tear you up with them claws.
Oh, they got some big old nails. They're like
Yeah.
a dinosaur foot.
They are mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shoot them with a bow and arrow, they'll jump up about that high off the ground.
I bet you George killed 100 of them suckers in his yard.
Huh.
He said, every damn night, I killed 3 or 4. The next night, they're back out there digging holes in my yard again. And I don't know how, he killed bunches of them
I
suckers.
killed a bunch
Yeah.
over at our house too. I
They got a
killed
bunch of them
I
down
killed 5
Yeah.
at one time out there in the yard.
Yeah, they usually have about 5 or 6 babies when they have them.
They're fun to shoot actually, because if you shoot them just right, the 22 or something a little bigger than 22 mag does pretty good. But if you shoot them just right in the side, them things will jump about 3 feet high
Yeah.
and just sling blood everywhere.
Yeah.
They bleed more than anything out there.
You know, it ain't been that many years though since they wasn't down in Oklahoma.
They migrate from up
Yeah,
south.
they come up from out of Mexico.
Yeah.
They wasn't none nowhere up this part of the country. But before it gets warm up this way, the more they come up north. Now they come up to Canada.
Mm-hmm.
They tear our yard up every year. Every year they tear it up. I killed 3 to 5 of them every year.
You'd think as cold as it gets, and no hair and no nothing, looks like it'd freeze to death.
Yeah.
But they don't. Of course, I guess they go on the ground.
What's the weirdest thing you think you ever ate?
I've seen him cleaning a few turtles before. So
Yeah, turtles ain't weird. Turtles taste alright. I've never eaten a soft shell one that everybody always talks about. Always eat the alligator turtles.
Yeah.
Big old snapping turtles.
Yeah.
They just meat.
You said you'd had a buffalo carp one time, didn't you?
Well, we roasted that sucker, but we eat what we could have. But them things are bad anyway because they got too many bones.
Yeah.
But me and George is hungry.
He's just hungry. Huh?
We couldn't get the catfish out. I was young then. I couldn't pull that goddamn catfish out. He would pull the boat up and down up the river, and me just everything I could do to hold him, trying to hold him up, pull him up. He'd get tired going up after a while and go down. And I never did get him up.
Huh.
But I got that big old carp out of there. So we said, hell, we'll eat that sucker then. I don't know how big that catfish was, but he was big. He had to be big. But that carp, he probably weighed 10, 15 pounds. He was big.
Yeah.
We didn't have nothing but matches. We smoked back in them days. I did. George did. We had matches so we built this fire to cook it with. We was down there, right there where the electric plant is down there in Muskogee, right down the Arkansas River, where Grand and Arkansas and Verdigrease all come together. That's where we was at.
Huh.
We was going to go to New Orleans. We was in the boat. And we got a little ways past the electric plant before we decided we wasn't going there on it. We was going back home. That's too damn far to go on the boat.
From there, you can go all the way out, though. Now,
Well, there wasn't no dams then.
oh yeah,
No, they wasn't none of that lock and dam stuff then. The river was open all the way.
Huh.
Only thing is, it takes a goddamn month or better. Go
yeah.
It won't live on them damn burn up fish for a month.
Yeah. But imagine the squirrels that was down there, though.
Yeah, but we didn't take the damn gun. Yeah, they had to knock it in the head with a rock.
George done that one time with the deer, didn't he? Beat him head the rock, run out 22 bullets.
Really?
I think that deer was a mule deer. I don't know. Was it?
Finish it off with a
The
rock.
one that George killed?
Killed the rock, yeah.
Yeah, the only reason he killed it was a damn rock because he ran out of bullets and the dog couldn't whoop it.
Yeah.
And its horns is hanging on my wall in my barn up there.
They look like mule deer horns to me, but I don't know though.
Well, the way they shaped, they do look like mule deer.
Yeah. They're way up, he's
They
up
some of them,
Carsville.
some of them big old white tails has got them dark horns like that too.
Yeah.
So it's hard, without seeing the deer, it's hard to tell what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he hit it upside the head with the rock. He ran out of
Yeah.
bullets. Huh?
Well,
And
they shot it.
It was beating up the dog. The dog was fighting with it.
The dog was pulling it down, but then the deer was whooping it, and he ran out of bullets, and the dog pulling it down, couldn't keep it down.
So it was
Okay.
on. It was on. It was still on its feet.
It's
There.
still
It wasn't.
fighting. Oh, it's still on
Yeah,
street
still
fighting.
fighting.
Huh. And he just ran
Oh,
up there
he
and
warped it
Got a
real
rock
hard with
and-
that big rock. Yeah,
uh,
knocked it out, and then it cut its throat down.
I mean, Dad's telling me he stepped on one's horn like you were saying that he cut its throat. And said
Yeah, that was a dumb trick on my part.
They're strong.
He could have hurt me. He could have hurt me
Yeah.
Huh.
because he could have come up with them horns, and I'd have been in trouble.
You feel how strong you are if you ever step on those horns. Like
Yep.
you're still alive, you figure it out. There
Real
ain't nothing
bad.
for them to push you off.
I
Yeah.
seen Cody grab a hold of one's horns while it's still alive, and I'd already had 3 arrows in it.
He didn't have as much life at the end of it.
But
Yeah.
Cody grabs the horn, pulling him out of that
Some
horn, and
I've
he's
seen.
going like this right here, fighting Cody. And Cody pulls him up.
His fight was already gone.
Yeah.
That near was.
Well, you'd think so after he had 3
Yeah.
arrows in him. But
Arrows. He
They were
went
strong.
Hell, he went 3 miles or better, didn't he?
He went a long ways, yeah.
That's the one that you shot that night, me and your dad, and
Yeah.
was up there in the hill and
Yeah,
trailed
and-
that thing off the backside of that hill.
And then Cody and Trey went back out with us next morning, and he wasn't 100 yards where we stopped trailing him. It was about 100 yards there, and Dad says, "There's a pond over there, but he's laying in that pond." And Cody got up there first, and sure shit, he was laying in that pond, still alive.
Yeah, but if we would have kept pushing him, he would have went on.
Yeah, if we would have turned
If
around,
we-
we did. We probably wouldn't got him. He went past that pond.
Yeah. And I can't
We
remember.
stopped when we did.
It was Dad didn't hear him. I said, "Hey, I think we just jumped him."
Yeah.
I heard something take off. And I said, "Yeah, we jumped him up."
Yeah,
And
I heard him.
I didn't hear.
Dad didn't ever hear him, but and Saints, I said, "Yeah, I think we jumped him up." And Saints said, "Yeah, we need to back out." And it was we must have jumped him right there, and he ran right over that pond. It wasn't 100 yards from where we stopped trailing.
Yeah.
But
It's a good thing we backed out.
Yeah, it was a good thing we backed out.
I shot him again. He took off and stumbled around some more and fell over. And they said, "Shoot him again." So I shot him again. And
This the next day.
yes,
Next day.
and he had his head underwater and breathing out that arrow shaft. Well, hey, him right through the lungs. He's breathing out that arrow shaft, and finally Cody just goes up there and grabs him by the horns and pulls him out. He's still fighting Cody, swinging his head like this. I think he's still alive when we took the first picture with him.
The first shot, the first shot
was in a tree.
Yeah, Trey was standing. He
Hiding in a tree.
climbed up in a tree. He wasn't.
Oh, I
10
knew
years
you
old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first original shot, I think Taylor shot him in the foot.
No, I didn't. It gets lower every time. It was
The elbow.
It was 3 or 4 inches below it. Would have been a frontal shot anyhow. Way he come
He
in.
never go in his chest cavity.
Well,
He never did go in there, did he?
I didn't have a rangefinder or nothing, anyways. And I shot him, and I text Dad. He shot a nice one. You know, he's a big one. You know, and went and picked him and Sonny up and brought him back. And where we found my arrow, I was looking back, and I still had my hang on the tree, and or my climbing stand was still on the tree. And I was like, I figured he's 35 yards, was guessing, and I used my 30-yard pin and just put it right at the base of his neck, and then we're standing there about where my arrow was and where I figured the deer was standing. Sonny says, "No, that's more like about 45 yards is what that is." And I was like, "Yeah, well, I know I hit him. He was stumbling around. He's on glass running out here. My arrow looked good. Looked like it passed through, and it did pass through that whole shoulder.
Got a good hit on him. That's what he kept telling us. I got a good hit on him.
I hit him good. I knew I hit him good. He was stumbling around and all that, but hey, he's dead. He's on the
It worked
board.
out, right? You got him. I mean, that's
It
all that
worked
matters.
out. Yeah, I learned from it though. I learned I need to start shooting some more of them.
Get more practice.
Yeah.
They die kind of funny sometimes. That one I killed in there, that little doe in there, spazzing all the time. I shot her. She come to a stand. I shot her. She ran over there, the brush pile, and just stood there, blood squirting out both sides. Anyway, I waited and waited and waited. And she just standing there, waited and waited. She stood there. I got down, walked over there, snuck up, stuck another arrow in, and she's just standing there. Died standing up. Dead as all get out.
Yeah. Frankie, you got any more crazy stories you want to tell?
All my story's crazy.
I know.
We run that deer. Remember that? I shot down there. We tracked it all upside the lake. Year before last, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Shot that little buck up there. We never did find it.
yeah.
Me and Gary found it.
Find it? How far away from it was we?
We walked all over the top of it a dozen times.
Really?
Yeah, it went right out in the edge of the lake and lay down in the lake.
Should have knew that.
It was, well, we went up there and we said, well, it has to, ain't no trail here. It has to either go up Cedar Hill or going around the edge of the lake. It didn't go around the edge. It went out in the lake.
We should have knew that's where it went, though, you know?
It was laying out in the lake.
Was his head missing?
Yeah, it was dead. I shot it.
We got a pretty decent little buckhead off the side of the lake last year.
He said out towards Cedar Hill.
That was over Cedar Hill.
Oh, I thought you was over there by the bluff.
No.
On that one.
Did you bring the head back or leave it down there?
It's still there.
So you brought it
Cody's
back.
got it.
He found it, went and got the head and brought it back.
A little 8-pointer.
I don't know how many points it had. It wasn't very big. It wasn't
Probably a pretty decent little buck.
It wasn't very big deer. It was just. It was that new gun. I just bought the gun.
Parked the boat on
270, right?
Yeah, that 270.
Yeah.
And I was using 130 grain bullets.
Yeah.
And it just dropped, man, like I shot it in the head or something when I hit it. And I went over to find it, and it was gone.
Yeah.
It fell right behind that log, and I guess crawled off. Because I watched it, and I never see it move. But we tracked it, 200 or 300 yards up the lake, and then we couldn't find no tracks, no blood, no nothing. Somebody went out in the lake, that's what he done. He quit bleeding. He went in the lake when he quit bleeding. But he was already dead, probably.
They're hurt. They want to go to water if they can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hell, I killed him right on shot him right on the side of the lake.
Yeah.
Before he come around there.
They say that's a myth. They don't go to water, but countless times it happens.
Countless times I found them in the water.
Yeah.
I shot that one in Nebraska up there that time, and it was laying in the middle of a pond. It died in the middle of a pond.
Yeah.
So yeah, they seem to go to water when they're
Well, if they have that, what is that kind of disease they got up there?
Mad cow.
If
blue
they
tongue.
get that,
DHC.
they go to water and die.
Yeah, do yeah.
Because all them up there at Rogers that river was full of deer.
They're about all gone. Deer population never has come back from that up there.
It'll be a long time.
Yeah.
The last trip we took to Nebraska, right at the Nebraska line, it was on the Kansas side though. I seen some does off the side of the road, and we spent the whole weekend hunting up there. And I didn't see another deer till we're driving home in Kansas. I didn't see one the whole weekend. I didn't see a deer.
That one time we went up there just before you go across into Nebraska, on the Kansas side out there in the field, there was a monster buck laying out there, and Sonny was wanting, Big Sonny was wanting to go out there. He was wanting to sneak out in that field, kill that sucker by God.
If it hadn't been Big Sonny, Little Sonny would have shot it out the window.
I remember he just laying out there. You can see his horns in that bean field.
Oh yeah, he was a big deer.
I can tell you can get to shooting out the pickup when you get to be a pretty good shot.
Yeah. Yep.
We
We used to do it all the time. We used to drive down the road, a purpose to shoot from out the window.
Everybody that I hunted with and hunted in Kansas with was George and those guys that live in Kansas. And we go up there during the Kansas rifle season. Them guys hunted from the pickup. They drive the roads. They shoot out the pickup. Might be 200 yards out in the field, 200-300 yards out in the field, and we shoot from the pickup.
Yeah.
One time we was going out through there, me, George, and Dan, and we was driving out through there. And anyway, a coyote crossed the road in front of us. And anyway, I was driving a truck. It crossed on my side of the truck. We're driving out through there, and it run out in the field, and it's about 100 yards out in the field out there. And you know how they run out there and stop and look at you. I said, George, give me my 308. Give me my 308, and I laid it across the mirror, stuck one in it, laid it across by the mirror, and it's about 80 yards. And it started loping out it. Pretty, you know how they get a lope running out that way. And George said, it's too far away. It's going too far. He says, you can't hit it. He said, it's probably 120 yards by now. Just hang on a minute. I put it about a foot in front of his head, squeeze the old trigger off, and that thing goes boom. I said, we got to go out and see where we hit that thing at. Go out there, walk out there, and hit that thing right square in the head. About 120 yards, about 308.
Must have quite the cubing.
Huh?
You must have quite the cubing.
The spotlight.
Yeah, you can do that too. You get pretty good at that.
Frankie, you reckon you killed more out of the window of the truck, or more off the motorcycle, or more off the mule? Which way you kill most of them?
Well, when we lived in Arkansas, you hunted with car all the time.
Yeah.
That's the way most of them then hunted down there.
Kind of like Kansas, they all hunt out of the vehicle.
But
it wasn't people like they're on
now.
They
population. They turn their dogs
That's
loose.
way back when, though.
And they stop the truck, they turn them dogs out, and they just listen to them dogs. When they hear them dogs running, they say, well, he's coming around that mountain over there. He's going to cross back around yonder. And they jump in the truck, and they run the hell around there waiting on him to come across. And they'll sit there in the truck waiting on them dogs, listening to the dogs bring them to them.
Huh.
And they'll shoot them that way. That's the way they hunt out there. Or did hunt.
Yeah.
I have it's been...
They probably don't know more, but
it's been 50 years.
That's why when we hunted in Kansas, when we went with Dan and all them guys up there, what we would do is we'd go out, you hunted everybody. They knew everybody around there, so you hunted all their land. Well, they take you over this mile section, drop you off. Take this guy at the next mile section, drop you off. Another guy over there at the next mile section. And then take an old beater feed truck, and they drive through them old the fields and just weave back and forth in there until they run something out, and you shoot the damn thing, let it run out across the road.
Yep.
That's the way them guys hunted. I mean, that's been 20 years ago, but that's the way they all hunted.
It changes all the time. You don't pay enough people to taking hunt that way anymore. Because if you got away with that, you wouldn't buy no license after fall. You wouldn't have to buy as many bullets because you kill them quicker. You can't get away with that.
What happened to your old mule you used to hunt off of?
I heard it was down here in the pasture.
Yeah.
She probably so old now. I bet she couldn't hold my old heavy butt
She's
up.
still down there. I see her every time I drive by there. She's down there.
Yeah.
She's out
She's
here
older
for a
than me,
long
I
time.
know
She
that.
decided she was gonna. She got out. She went down there.
I don't even remember what year I got her, but she's old.
You had two of them,
Was
didn't
Yeah, one of them died old. I had three.
In the
One of them
90s,
wouldn't
you
let me
think?
catch it, so I shot it.
you? Okay.
And the other one died of old age.
Was it in the 90s, you think you got it?
Oh, hell, I got her before then.
80s? I said, I know it had been at least in the 90s because no, she's older than I am. So been before 99 anyways.
It was sometime in the 80s.
Heck, yeah.
She probably, when I brought her over here, she was probably 30-something.
Huh.
Yeah.
They
She's
lived.
been here for quite a while, hasn't she?
Yeah, they lived a long time. They lived 40 years or so.
Yeah.
Well, you can work them where they won't live that long, but if you take care of them, they will.
Yeah.
The mule live longer than a horse.
Yeah.
For some reason, and they're stronger than a horse. She had to be strong carrying me all over the damn country, up down the mountains.
They ain't no good for breeding, though.
No, they won't have no kid. They won't have no coach. Well, I say that they have been known to, but very seldom.
Oh, really?
Yep. Most time you have to have a.
Dad said you'd get on that thing and jump the fence when you're sitting on it.
She
No,
can't.
he put
She couldn't jump
this
the
thing over the
fence.
fence.
Me on
Oh,
it.
you put something
put
over
some
it?
little fence, put the
Yeah.
blanket on the fence and then jump the fence.
If it was a high fence, if it's 4 foot, you'd have to tie the stirrups up so she could take her hammy off so she could jump. And she'd jump a 4 foot fence, standing straight, just standing still, jump it. If she wanted out of pasture down at where she's at, if they ain't got a great big high fence, she just hop over
We
when
never
she
did
wanted to.
figure out how she got out here because there wasn't a gate open nowhere, nothing. But she ended up down the road down here.
We didn't have any other horses either, so she
Yeah, that's after we got rid of the horses, and then they're
decided
pretty
she
social. They like other horses, and there
Yeah,
are other horses over there.
Yeah, she liked having something else around because down at the house, after that one died, well, she needed something. She hated to go around anywhere that they had a horse, and I wouldn't let her go over to where it was at.
Yeah, she was here after we got. Well, it wasn't our horses anyways. That guy run a couple of horses out here. And he come and got them finally after he was here a couple of years. And she thought she was leaving. One morning she ain't out there. And she just jumped the fence. She had to go across at least 2 fences to get over there. And she was over there. Been over there ever since.
She can hop a fence
With the horse
without
out
no
there.
problem.
Yeah.
I don't know how well, I haven't, when I quit taking her over the fences and stuff, I don't know if she got where she couldn't jump as high or not, but she used to be able to jump 4 foot, a 4 foot fence, just hop right over that sucker. Just get over the fence, get a hold of her rein, and say, come here. She just jump over you. But that's what she was, what they raised her for. When they broke her to jump fences as a hunting mule. All I had to do was kind of break her where she wasn't gun shy.
Yeah.
When I first got her, she didn't like the gun going off on her. laying across the saddle didn't help. She didn't like that no too much either. But it's the way it goes.
Yep.
It's what made me lazy. I used to walk everywhere.
Yeah.
Got down there in the Comanche Mountains. Sometimes 15, 20 miles back in there. It was really nice to have a mule. Especially if you killed a deer.
Be quite the drag.
Carry that sucker out. Sure made a lot of difference. Killed several of them back in there. A lot of country back in there. A lot of open country. It's hard country to hunt.
Yeah. Never been down there.
Well, that what we call Black Fork, it's just open country, but the lumber company owns it, and now you have to pay to get in there. Unless till you get over 65, and then it don't cost you nothing to get in there. When you get too damn old to walk in there. But before that, you have to pay to get up in there and hunt in there. There's a lot of turkey and a lot of deer.
So here in
Bear.
2 or 3 years, you'll get in for free, huh?
Yeah, another 10, 15. Yeah. When we lived down there, you could drive up in there.
Oh,
They didn't give a shit. The timber company didn't care if you could come up in there. But them guys got, I guess, sneaking up in there stealing their trees. If they cut you a few pine trees, take them to a lumber mill, make you a pretty good chunk of money. Yeah. That lumber company was out of Seattle, Washington, so they wasn't exactly real close.
Warehouses or something like that.
Yep. Warehouse owned part of it, and there was another one. It's got a deal down there at Walden, Arkansas. Got an office down there. It's got land over in Oklahoma and Arkansas. And that's where Sanders' old man, Dogger's old man, used to cut wood down there on it down there in Arkansas. Of course, a lot of times they didn't know they was cutting wood on it, but and then they cut a damn load of pulpwood and bring it in and sell it. Couldn't tell. Well, everybody knowed who they was. Hell, they never did have no tags on their cars. None of that kind.
Well,
I remember that big rattlesnake you killed that one time down there.
Yeah.
For the biggest rattlesnake I've ever seen.
He come real close to
Where was
having me for dinner.
Killed her down there by Cedar Hill over that way, didn't you?
Yeah,
Somewhere?
I killed it right there where you turn to go up Coyote Creek.
Yeah.
I stepped around that tree and he was laying right there. He wasn't but about that big around, and when I hold him up like this, he'd touch the ground.
That's all.
He was
That's
over 6 foot, wasn't he?
I don't know how many times I hit him before I hit the ground. I shot him about a half a dozen times before I got to come back to the ground. If I had, I probably got bit. I used to be fast when I was young.
What did you shoot
shooting him
him?
as
Like
he's falling
22?
down or what?
Huh?
He jumped.
You shooting as he's falling down, jump back?
I shot him when I jumped straight up in the air.
Oh.
If I'd have fell down, I'd have got bit.
22 or?
22, yeah, hell, I thought I hunt with.
Yeah.
Unless I'm deer hunting. And I use that 17.
I remember you bringing that over to Dad's over there and skinning that
Skin it
thing.
out. They
I
had
remember
woman 12.
that.
He laid that on that woman 12. It hung over the side of that woman 12, didn't it? It's a pretty good sized snake.
Melba, when I killed that, it wasn't just a little bit after that. Melba killed that up there behind where Schubert had that place.
Yeah.
Killed it down there, and it was, I think what was it? It was 6 foot something.
Yeah.
It was a big rattlesnake.
Huh. I heard one time that Pops, I think it was you, that Pops had reloaded some shotgun shells with feathers in them.
Oh, that was Sonny done that.
And you took them out, or?
He done it for my shells.
But put some.
They couldn't stand me shooting dove faster than they could.
What did they just put a few shot in it and then feathers or what?
Didn't no shot, period. I just feathers.
Just packed it full of feathers, huh?
Yeah.
Well, what happened? You went out with them and...
I couldn't kill no birds. All I'd get was feathers.
They laugh at you.
Hell yes, sad souls. They made fun of me for a long time.
What'd you do when you shot that first one? You son of a bitch!
Yeah, I had to be falling out here somewhere. All the feathers fell out of it.
Had to hit him, huh?
Thought you hit it, huh?
About near plucked it.
I knew they felt funny when I picked them up, but they wasn't heavy enough. But that's when I had that little 20 gauge.
Now, Grandpa didn't like 20 gauge, did he?
Yeah.
You see, he bought that 20 gauge double barrels, and ended up, Uncle George ended up getting it. It's one set on his wall for years. He still got it, or
Well, he got
Gary's
part
got
of it. I think they done something other to it. I don't think he's got it all. I think part of the gun is gone.
Is it? I knew it set up on them horns that you got for years when they lived in Bartlesville, and then I asked Uncle George about it quite a while. It's been quite a while ago, probably 10 years ago. I'd asked Uncle George about that gun, and he's telling me a story about Grandpa had bought it, and then Grandpa didn't like it. He ended up buying it off of him, and I don't know what the whole story about that was. But, I mean, he said he bought it off of him, and then Grandpa didn't like 20 gauge, and he had it for...
Because he liked that 16.
Yeah.
That's why. He was used to that 16, and that 20 gauge just does not shoot the same.
I tried to get Uncle George to give me that gun years ago, and I said, I'll hang it on the wall.
I think somebody, I don't know who it was, Gary or who it was, told me something other about that they'd done something other to it, and it wasn't shootable. And they was going to have to have
something
it.
about the barrel was bent or something on it, but I can't remember exactly. But I asked Gary about it after Uncle George passed away, and he said he was going to keep it. And I said, well, if you ever decide to get rid of it, I said, you let me know. I want to hang it in the wall in my man cave.
Well, I think they said something other about it was.
So I don't care if it shoots.
There was something the matter with it that you wasn't supposed to shoot it, and I don't know. I don't remember what he said it was. It's the reason it was hanging. They would just had it. I think George had it stuck in the closet or something other over there. He wasn't. I know he wasn't taking care of it, and I don't know about Gary's. I don't know where he's taking care of it or not. I guess Gary's one's got it.
He said he was going to get it. I'm sure he's the one that's got it. But like I told him, so you're going to get it, let me know, because Dad used to talk for years about. I guess when you guys used to go turkey shoots and all that, he used to have an old, is it a 20 gauge or 12 gauge? He said it had the old thumb busters on it, and he's always talking about that gun. He took it to have it repaired, and it never did get repaired or any of that stuff. And talked about it, shot so good shooting at those turkey shoots, and won a lot of turkey shoots with it. But
we had one of them. Me and your Uncle Charlie loaded the damn bullets with BBs. And you can't shoot BBs out of full choke barrel, 12 gauge. On all them twisted barrels. They will blow up. He'll just pop the end right off of
Bet you can shoot feathers out of it,
shoot feathers out don't do nothing to them.
Well, Dad had talked about that gun for years, having no thumb buster. I can't even remember what model, who it was made by. It was made by Stevens or who it was made by. But I told Lisa for years, I said, when we moved in where we're at, I said, well, if I ever find one, I'm going to buy one. I don't care if it shoots or not. What kind of condition is it? I want to hang it on the wall, because Dad always talked about having one. So we happened to be in the gun show in Oklahoma City, and we just walked through, and there's one sitting there that had 450 or something on the tag on it. Walked by it, and I picked it up, looked at it. It's pretty rough. You could tell it was rough. It was loose on it. Anyway, that's the guy. The guy said, "You take that home with you today, ain't you?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. It's a little bit high." And he said, "Well, what'd you give me for it?" I said, "Shoot, I don't know. I'd give you 100 for it." Just messing with the guy. He said, "That's yours. Take it." So he had it marked 450, and I got it for 100. And I don't know if the guy just wanted to get rid of the old gun, but it's hanging on the wall. And man,
Them with the hammers anymore is antiques.
It is.
Sure,
It's a neat gun. I don't know if you've seen it yet or not, but it's hanging right there above my saloon doors there. Next time you're down at the house, I'll show it to you. The guy told me, he said it shoots. I wouldn't shoot the damn thing, but he said it shoots. But the only reason I wanted one, because Dad used to talk about that all the time. They went to turkey shoots with it, but he never did. I don't ever remember him saying what kind of gun it was, whether it was a Stevens or a H&R or what. He never did say.
Well, when I used that little 20 gauge. The 20 gauge had a full choke barrel on it, choked all the way from one end of the barrel to the other. And for out there about 30, 40 yards, that was as big a pattern as it'd make.
Dang, that'd be tight.
It would just tear a damn hole in something other. And it shoots slugs just like shooting a rifle. And that's the one I had in Arkansas down there. We lived out there. And I just flat wore the son of a bitch out. in that left-handed 22 I had, I wore it out.
Are you left-handed?
No, but that 22 was. I'm right-handed, but when I shoot this way, the hull would come out this side instead of this side.
Huh.
And, my daddy-in-law bought it off of a guy walking down the highway on his way to California, I think, where he said he was going. He had that rifle, and he needed some money. He probably stole the rifle from somebody. I have no idea. But it shot good for a long time. I shot 1 million shells through it.
You put down a lot of squirrels,
A
huh?
lot of squirrels. Me and George lived in Arkansas. We averaged anywhere from 1 to 2 boxes of 22 shells every day. We hunted a lot. Because that's all we done most of the time. We work a little bit and then we go hunt all the time.
Is it hard to get used to that 22 shooting that shell out the other side? Because you're kind of like,
Yeah, you had.
it kind of looked to me like it getting your vision and get you kind of watching it as it come out.
Now you get used to it.
If it kicked it back, you would have to be careful not have the hull hit you. But
Yeah.
when you got used to it,
I guess y'all guys always got the shell coming out their own
they
side.
go
Huh? Like you left-handies.
They are throwing down your shirt.
Yeah. Shoot that little
You don't
22 you
want
gave
them
me
hot
a
shells
you
going
go
down
shoot
the
it every day. Oh, every
She's
day.
52 years old.
Well,
We
if
got
you
your
could
first
shoot low
left-handed gun. Huh?
Killed four
And Frank been
squirrels
shooting
the other
one
day.
this whole time. He ain't even
Today.
left-handed.
nope.
Really?
birds.
Bolt action
Shooting
left-handed
birds with it.
left-handed gun I've ever had.
Oh,
I
I
always like breakover guns.
I
you know,
would
single
never-
shots.
make it left-handed bolt action. I'd never get used to that.
It'd be rough, wouldn't it?
Yep, it sure would.
I don't know how they
like
shot.
breakover guns because you're left.
Being left-handed, shot that
Yeah.
gun's so good. You used to shoot that Mauser really good.
Kill a lot of deer in that Mauser.
It's hard to teach a left-handed guy how to shoot.
Dad always marked that
So they
stock
shoot
on
different.
all of his deer he killed.
They
Still
hold
all
the gun
all the
different
numbers
and
are still on
everything.
there, all the marks.
God, hell, Dad,
That's
he
what
won't
he
even.
killed that
I don't
big
know if
buck
it was
with.
left handed or not, but he won't even
killed
sight
the
it in.
buck
He said,
with
"Oh, I
Didn't
just shoot
make
about
the
the
big
inch
buck
to
contest.
the
He killed
left."
that with that Mauser.
If you know how your gun shoots, it
Open
don't matter.
sights.
If you're going to shoot it all the time, somebody else ain't going to shoot it, and you've got it sighted. You sight it in, and it off one side of your target all the time. So what? Hell, that thing has to just hold it over there a little bit.
That's what I always
Let it-
always do.
let
I
it
know I
go.
want to know how it shoots.
I mean, look at Dad killed that elk when he's down there. You know,
Oh yeah, once my glasses on, that's it. With my glasses on, I shoot high and to the right.
yeah,
That's what he said.
that's what he said, didn't he?
Yep, he had the glasses on. He shot
Apparently,
that
he had
thing.
glasses on, forgot to take them off, and
Yeah.
shot that deer in the mouth.
Shot
Shot
him
that.
out.
Shot that deer. That was Grandpa's old 30-06. So I loaned it to him.
Oh yeah.
But
He had to-
42.
Wasn't no blood anywhere. He had to shot that thing in the mouth, and nowhere was any blood.
Yeah.
It was only 80 yards. By the time we got home, it's 400.
It's getting bigger, dude.
But me and Jesse drug it down that mountain, didn't we?
Around all them big rocks, yeah.
Didn't even gutted it right there and drug it all down there, didn't we?
Oh, it ain't. If he's here today, it'd been 1,000.
I give up on that elk hunt. It'd be way too damn much trouble.
I've been putting in for it every year. I got 25 points for elk.
Still, I got 25 preference points now. One of us gonna get one of these.
I
days,
got
maybe.
about 16 or 18.
Yeah, if they wait till you get so goddamn old that
I
you
know.
can't walk out there to get one of the
Too
damn
many more
things.
years.
That's,
And
They changed the rules now. If you go over 20 points, you get put in the pot with 50% of the people get put in there.
They changed
Changed it again.
Changed it again this year to where only 10% of the tags can be non-resident. 90% come from within Oklahoma.
Right.
For all the
federal-
all the federal land hunts.
the way as many people that signs up on that thing, they should not have no out of state hunters at all.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess there's a bunch of them that put in for that. Bunch of out-of-state people. Because the success rate is so high on it. It's like 90-something% success rate on it. That's why
Yeah,
they
but
put in
if the draw in would be that high, well, that'd be
But you
all right.
are keep putting in for it. If you get drew out, all you got to do is shoot one. We'll do the rest of the work.
Yeah,
Somebody
trouble is,
get it out.
what did he say that was? It cost him $250 to get in that?
I think it says 300 on the deal. You could be up past the $300. What it says if you get drawed or whatever. But
Besides what you already paid to trying to get in there, you done spent
yeah,
25, 30 years trying to get a damn
I know.
drawed in the thing.
Usually it's $5 put
Yeah.
in for it. Now we spend more than that now. We probably spend.
Yeah, because you can put in for those extra points.
I know,
there.
yeah.
I've been there
Up to-
twice when
up
the
to
dad
so
and
many
then
points.
one of my buddies got drawed out in there, so we went with him. Been there
Well,
twice.
you got drawn into Salt Plains this year, didn't you?
Last year, yeah.
Last year. Somebody.
Been
Oh,
there twice.
Andy Harmon, a buddy of mine, got drawn into Salt Plains this year.
All right, y'all. If you made it this far, then I hope you enjoyed what you heard. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll keep making some of these. And like I say, it was a different time that these guys grew up in, especially Frank. It was entirely different back there, coming out of the Great Depression and what have you. So it's really fun and interesting. I've always loved to hear old hunting stories and stuff, and this was just great for me I had the time of my life sitting there. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did, or even half as much as I did, but anyways, appreciate you if you made it this far into it, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button.